Happy New Year from Big Dog Investing. In this video, we're going to be going over the market reports of 2024 for the stock market as well as the cryptocurrency market. We're going to talk about how the housing market performed. We're also going to be going over the U.S. national debt as well as consumer debt. We're going to be talking about some cryptocurrency news as well as we're going to be getting into some price predictions and price forecasts for the cryptocurrency market for 2025. So make sure you guys tune into this video to find out all the details. Hey guys, Ryan with Big Dog Investing. Thank you guys for tuning in to my channel. If you guys could do a couple of things for me, if you guys go and like, comment, subscribe to my channel if you guys have not done so already. Click the bell notification down below so YouTube can send you guys notifications whenever I release videos. Watch my videos all the way to the end. If you guys could share my videos and share my channel with anyone. I'm trying to grow my channel as much as I can. I definitely need your guys' help in doing so. Getting started. Today's be Wednesday, January 1st, so it is the first day of 2025. The total market cap for all cryptocurrency right now is $3.28 trillion. This is a 1.37% decrease on the day today. Bitcoin right now is currently trading at $93,971. Ethereum, $3,332, and XRP right now at $2.17. If we look in the top 10 right now, XRP is the only cryptocurrency right now in the green, currently up 2.37% on the day. Now we're going to get over the price forecast of what happened with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP over the last year, because they're the three top cryptocurrencies by market cap, not including Tether, which is considered a stable coin currently right now at number 3. Now, Bitcoin currently up 119.99% on the 1 year. We did see Bitcoin reach a low of $39,518, and this was on January 22nd of 2024, so just 22 days away of what this would have been. But again, currently up 119%, now 120% on the day, because the prices are always changing. So I think that it is great news for the markets, especially if you guys do hold Bitcoin. Ethereum didn't have as big of a year. Bitcoin did go up 44.31%, did reach a low of $2,233, and that was on the 24th of January of last year. Again, only up 44%. Obviously, though, again, if you guys look at the stock market year over year, 44% is super great compared to the stock market. There is a lot more volatility in the cryptocurrency market. And again, nothing I say in this video should be considered financial advice. Make sure you guys do your guys' own independent research before making your own financial decisions. Now, XRP did have the best year out of the top 3 cryptocurrencies by market cap. XRP currently up 249.86% on the year. We did reach a low of roughly about 42 to 43 cents for XRP. But again, absolutely great if you guys have been holding XRP. I've been holding XRP since 2016 and 2017 is when I bought the majority of my XRP tokens. But again, the price, in my opinion, is going to be going up over this next year. We're going to talk about that later on in this video. But again, great prices. We're going to see the biggest gainers and losers in the top 100 on the day today, though. XLM at the biggest gainer, currently up 10.6%, FTM 8.8%, and then Leo is at 4%. We have a few other cryptocurrencies in the green, but the majority are going to be in the red. Again, that is only because we are currently down on the day today. Getting into our biggest losers on the day today, we see Hex currently down 10.8%. We did see its founder, Richard Hart. He did actually get put on a most wanted list, so he is actually wanted by authorities. So currently, that's going to be the reason why that one is down, in my opinion. We see some meme coins down. We see Pepe, Bonk, and Whiff all down roughly 6 to 7%. We got Hype down 6.8%. So we'll see what happens with the cryptocurrency market. In my opinion, I do see a strong forecast over the year, and if we look again, the majority of these cryptocurrencies on the year are doing absolutely fabulous. So if you've been holding for the last 365 days, you guys are doing very well, depending on which cryptocurrency you guys bought into, but the majority are doing well. Again, we'll see a strong forecast for 2025. Now, I did want to put fireworks in here. I do love fireworks. My daughter and my wife love fireworks also. So we did launch fireworks at midnight, so there's the little ones for the street, but obviously this is great news going into 2025. We'll see what the new year brings with us, but hopefully it brings nothing but good wealth and fortune and health to all of you guys. Now, the U.S. national debt is currently at $36 trillion. $295,984,350,000 and roughly some change. Again, this is always ever changing, so it's just, in my opinion, absolutely ridiculous how much money we are in debt. Getting into the Gabashi letter, the U.S. stock market is now worth a whopping 63.8 trillion, near all-time high. The U.S. stock market's market cap has doubled in the last 4.5 years. This year, the market has added over $10 trillion in value. To put this into perspective, China, Hong Kong, and Europe markets combined are worth 50% less than the United States is. The Magnificent Seven, so this is the top seven stocks that are in the S&P 500 market cap alone, are larger than the European market. Truly historic. Now, a lot of people are speculating that this is going to be great news and nothing but beneficial for the stock market as a whole. The majority of stocks are actually down on the year. The only thing holding the stock market up is going to be your tech stocks. So they got a lot of money put into it. NVIDIA was one of the top gainers on the year, or in the last 4.5 years. And so that's the reason why it's an inflated number, in my opinion, because the majority of stocks in the S&P 500 are actually down, but the tech stocks combined are worth a lot, and that brought up the entire stock market value. Now, leverage loan defaults are spiking globally. The share of leverage loan defaults jumped 7.2% in October, the highest since 2020. The percentage has doubled over the last 2 years. In the U.S., junk loan default rates have skyrocketed to the highest in 10 years, according to Moody's. This is also combined. This comes as companies took a large amount of debt during the ultra-low rate period in 2020 and have struggled to pay off the higher rates. The higher for longer is back, and we expect a even more upward pressure default rates. Companies are drowning in risky debt. So, in my opinion, a lot of companies in 2025 are going to fail as a whole, and mainly because they did it to themselves. They took a bunch of debt, especially with the low interest rates, and then when those rates changed, because some of these are leveraged loans. Well, if you guys don't know what that means, instead of like a flat loan rate, so like if you go buy a house, you get like a 30-year fixed rate. Some people decided to go on leverage rates. So depending on how the markets are changing, your rate changes with the market. And as interest rates started to rise over the last couple of years, and they're almost like pretty high right now, these market rates have increased also for these loans, and people in these companies can't pay them off. So there's going to be a lot of crisis, in my opinion, for businesses. So I see 2025 being bad for business. Again, this is just my personal opinion. 2024 was brutal for homeowners. For the first time since 2005, U.S. New home prices became cheaper than existing home prices. In fact, only 4 million existing homes were sold in 2024, the lowest since 1995. Here are Apollo's shocking housing market facts into 2025. So U.S. homes are getting smaller. The size of new homes built has declined by 12% since 2016. The median new home is 2,175 square feet after nearing as high as the 2,500 square feet in 2016. Now, I did buy a new home in 2023. So right at the very end of 2023. So I've just been in my home for a little over a year now. And my home is a brand new home. So it was brand new built. And it is lower than the average median home. 4-bedroom, roughly about 1,900 square feet. So we are still a little bit lower than the median home. So again, we are seeing this trend where homes are getting smaller. The median age of all homeowners is now 49 years old, up from 31 in 1981. So we're only seeing like older generations being able to buy and afford homes. This is mainly due to the price increase of the home values, as well as interest rates are through the roof. 40% of U.S. homes don't have a mortgage. So these are people who have already paid off their mortgages. Again, these are going to be your older individuals. In 2010, just 33% of U.S. homes did not have a mortgage at first. Less mortgage debt seems good. However, the reality is most new home buyers can't afford to take on a mortgage. So that's why existing homes are down. The average number of homes sold per real estate agent every year is 21, down from 54 in 2004. So we're seeing realtors being struggling, able to probably keep their jobs, and they might have to take on a second job. Households Equity in the real estate is at a record high, 73% of home values. So basically, the amount of money that you guys are able to afford based on your job is drastic. The mortgage payments are through the roof. It just goes on and on and on with this. You guys, again, everything's going to be down in the comments below for you guys to open up and read. U.S. credit defaults jumped 46 billion in the first 9 months of 2024. This is the highest since 2010. Credit card defaults are now up over 50% year over year. And this has happened after the 2008 financial crisis. We did see creditors being able to give out loans, and then because of the 2008 financial crisis, it held on into 2010, where a bunch of people were defaulting on their credit card debt. So again, we're seeing a bunch of craziness going on with our debt, and this is my opinion why we're going to see a struggle sesh, in my opinion, for a lot of businesses as well as consumers in 2025. But I do see a benefit for the cryptocurrency market. Right now, crypto markets are making history. US Bitcoin ETFs have recorded over 500 billion in cumulative daily trading volume since January. Moreover, these ETFs have attracted a whopping 37 billion of net inflows. The Bitcoin ETFs IBIT have grown nearly to 52 billion in assets in 11 months, marking the best ETF in debut history. The ETF is now bigger than 50 European market-focused ETFs, which have existed for over 2 decades, which is 20 years. Additionally, IBIT has seen over 1.7 billion in nominal options volume for the day per day over the last 3 months. We are witnessing history. So we'll see what happens, but in my opinion, again, I do see a strong forecast for cryptocurrency, and we'll talk about the reasons why, but mainly cryptocurrency works in cycles. Now, U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says the U.S. will hit a debt ceiling mid-January, forcing Treasury to employ extraordinary measures. She doesn't mention that she has been intentionally reducing the cash balance in the government checking account, forcing a debt crisis on Trump when he takes over. So President-elect Trump takes office on January 20th, so it's just crazy that we're expected to hit a debt ceiling mid-January, and she knows this and didn't take any measures to try to change this. And the reason why is Kevin McCarthy foolishly gave Biden and Yellen an unlimited debt ceiling through January 1st of 2025, which would have been today, back in 2023 during the CR vote. It made no sense, and that there is one reason McCarthy was ousted as Speaker. Secretary of Treasury Janet Yellen could borrow unlimited amounts during December it's supposed to be of 2024, and increase the cash levels to a larger amount. They anticipate the debt ceiling snap into effect in January 1st of 2025, but she didn't do this. And the reason why I don't think she did this is because it's going to be a political agenda. So this is going to force President-elect Trump and then Congress, when they meet and convene right when he takes office, to start having a lot of these meetings and try to figure out congressional budgets and everything else. And that's where his main focus is going to have to be for the first part of his term in his first year of office. So I think that that's absolutely ridiculous, and again, this is just my own opinion. Now, we're running on an insane deficit, and we just can't keep going. Now, this is Elon Musk. He talks about this. The video is going to be linked down below. But he talks about the federal deficit is insane. It's like $3 trillion. Federal expenditures are $7 trillion. The federal revenue, this is your guys' tax dollars. So the IRS receives revenue for the federal government in the form of tax dollars by me and you through our taxes, is $4 trillion. That's a $3 trillion difference. If this was a company, it'd be at a $3 trillion loss. I don't know if we should be adding that to a loss. That seems pretty crazy. Something's got to give. A company would go bankrupt. There would be nobody investing in this company anymore, and they would just say, like, just give it up. But for some reason, the U.S. government can print money out of thin air and just keep on growing this U.S. debt. So we'll see what happens with it. President Biden did announce another $2.5 billion in security assistance to this country right here. We already talked about it. I don't want to bring it up in a lot of these videos because I've been shadow banned on YouTube as well as TikTok when I do talk about some of this stuff. So as long as I don't say the names, I'm good. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen also announced another $3.4 billion in budget aid to that country as well. So we're giving it a nearly $6 billion. So it's $5.9 billion has been authorized to this country. So while Americans are suffering, our U.S. national debt is growing, as well as consumer debt. People are struggling to buy homes. And meanwhile, in North Carolina, it looks like this due to the hurricanes. Instead of helping out the American people, we're helping out other countries. Absolutely horrendous, in my opinion. Now, when President-elect Trump takes office, he wants to implement term limits, would oust the majority of Congress. Trump wants to push for term limits that would cap House members at 6 years, which is 3 terms, and senators at 12 years, which is 2 terms. Under these rules, 73% of the 115th Congress would lose their seats, including 318 House representatives, which include 161 Republicans, as well as 157 Democrats and 46 senators. This dramatic overhaul reflects Trump's drain the swamp agenda, aiming to curtail long-standing political careers in Washington. Now, I did make a TikTok and a YouTube short on this, and I got a bunch of comments saying, well, if the president has term limits, why don't members of Congress? And I agree with that, and I think that this should be implemented. We'll see if it actually goes through. We did want to give, our deepest condolences. We did see President Carter, Jimmy Carter, we still all call him President Carter. Whenever somebody was the president and they're no longer the active president, we still give them the respect that they were the president of the United States, did pass away. Now, Charlie Kirk, I think, breaks this down very good. Jimmy Carter, President Carter, was a failed president, but a decent man who tried his best to serve America throughout his long and distinguished life. He was a sincere Christian, and nobody could ever accuse him of simply trying to loot the country and cash in, like so many of today's Washington oligarchs. May he rest in peace. And I do agree with that. So prayers out to President Carter and his families, especially during this time of mourning, because he did pass away a couple of days ago. We did see this right here. We did see President-elect Trump bring out a video, Make America Great Again. He did post this late last night. So if you guys want to, again, you guys can watch it. I think it's absolutely great, and it's a great intro into the new year. Now, CZ, he is the former CEO, but the founder of Binance. He did actually get forced to leave his position. He says, learn, understand, and stay the course. Don't get distracted. Hashtag Bitcoin. In my opinion, I think it should be hashtag cryptocurrency, because there are some cryptos that are good. Some cryptos will outperform Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin is considered the gold standard, but learn, understand, and stay the course. So don't get distracted. Don't get manipulated on prices and everything else. But again, you have to learn and understand before you guys make your own financial decisions. Japan reflects strategic Bitcoin reserve proposal, citing volatility, lack of info, and legal concerns. So rejects the reserve. So in my opinion, we're going to see a lot of countries either take on a Bitcoin cash reserve. We did see President-elect Trump talk about the U.S. doing this. Some countries are going to say yes. Some countries are going to say no. I think if the majority of the major countries that are first world countries are going to start to do this, I'm going to see a slight increase in the number of countries that did say no, choose to turn around and kind of change their ideologies and go back and do it, especially if the U.S. says that they're going to do this. I see actually Japan probably coming back and saying, well, if the U.S. is doing this, we're going to do it. Now, HBAR and Hedera. So Hedera is the company, HBAR is the token, says this is going to be fire right here. Coinbase understands the power of crypto and AI. You guys can watch the full video to understand why Hedera is leading the space. From Prove AI to the recent announcement of the EQTY Labs and Intel and NVIDIA. So we did see Hedera talk about how they are going to be using AI software on their Hashgraph network. And then they also brought in Intel and NVIDIA as well onto their platform, and a lot of transparency is going to be on the blockchain or Hashgraph technology because they're separate entities. So Hedera uses Hashgraph, not blockchain technology, but it's still the same thing where it actually gets posted in real time, and it's going to be on a ledger where everyone's going to be able, or a DEX where everyone's going to be able to view all of this because it's all publicly accessible. So there's a lot of transparency in cryptocurrency. So when a bunch of people say like, hey, it's being used for frauds and stuff, everything can be tracked on the blockchain, or in this case, Hashgraph technology. Montenegro says it's completed its extradition of the crypto mogul Do Kwon to the United States. He was the founder of the Terra Luna token, where we did see the price of the Luna token rise up to about $114 before its steady crash down to hundreds or thousands of a penny in under 30 minutes, where he printed or minted a bunch of cryptocurrencies out of thin air. and then he took all of that money and ran. He was arrested and now got extradited to the United States. He tried to put in a bunch of appeals saying, please don't do this, please don't do this, and unfortunately it did fail. Now, I'm going to try to go pretty quick. We're 19 minutes in. I'm going to try to keep this video under 25. Now, Tether acquired a small stablecoin company, Stab AI, or IR, STABIR. Hopefully I don't get shadow banned because of that, which does comply with the MiCA regulations. So a bunch of people were speculating that because Tether, there's a bunch of new regulations in the EU where MiCA, it's going to be a financial regulations where a bunch of cryptocurrencies were going to have to get on board with their regulations, and if they don't, they were going to have to be delisted from a lot of those exchanges. Tether didn't meet the requirements for MiCA. They, I think, failed like 3 times. Still couldn't get onto it. Every time they submitted their forms, they got rejected. So they ended up buying a company right here, STBIR, and then they do meet the MiCA requirements. So I think they're going to be able to stay on. There's a bunch of FUD, so fear, uncertainty, and doubt with this. Joshua Jake says Tether USDT isn't going anywhere. You smooth brain bears. Tether has invested in Malta licensed stablecoin firm STABIR Marketing, and it's the second investment in the European stablecoin issuer in a month. EU-wide digital asset regulations called MiCA will enter into a force by the end of the year, shaking up the region's stablecoin market. Tether decided last month to shutter its own Euro stablecoin and focus on backing smaller issuers through its tokenized platform. 10 years of FUD, and you continually are proven wrong time and time again. So I see that this is being very beneficial for Tether as a company being able to acquire this. I don't see them going anywhere, but I do see Tether actually dropping from the number 3 cryptocurrency by market cap. CEO of Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse, says Tether USDT might continue to grow, but I would doubt that it will have the same market shares in 2 years. By market shares, it's not going to be the 3rd largest cryptocurrency by market cap. That'll be beneficial for RLUSD, yeah. And he says yes. EU exchanges will delist USDT because of lack of clarity. Disagree with that. But RLUSD will replace USDT with the XRP. So for those of you guys that don't know, RLUSD is the stablecoin on the XRPL, which is the ledger that Ripple uses for the XRP token. I do see Ripple stablecoin RLUSD becoming the leading stablecoin, surpassing USDC and USDT. So we'll see what happens with it, but since they just came out, they just got regulatory approval in New York. They just issued their stablecoin and put it live in the markets, so you guys can actually go out and buy it right now. Uphold is one of the only exchanges right now where it's easily accessible to buy. So we'll see what happens with it. Getting into our Watcher Guru news, Michael Saylor says we're going to see an end of the war on crypto under President-elect Trump's administration. I do agree with that. El Salvador now holds $6 billion worth, $570 billion worth of crypto. So 6,000 Bitcoin worth $570 billion. I think that's great news for the company, or for the country. Hong Kong lawmaker proposes adding Bitcoin to the National Reserve to boost financial security. So we'll see what happens again when I was talking about other countries jumping on board. BlackRock Spot Bitcoin ETF officially becomes the fastest growing exchange-traded fund in history. So we're seeing, again, cryptocurrency start to become more easily accessible for people like me and you, your grandparents, your parents, everything else. It used to be very difficult to get cryptocurrency. Now you can get them on exchanges, but now you can actually just go to institutions like BlackRock, Vanguard, Citadel, and buy these as an ETF form, which is the paper form, and you guys are able to own them. BlackRock Spot Bitcoin ETF is the greatest launch in ETF history, Bloomberg reports. So I think that is great news for BlackRock as well as cryptocurrency, even though I hate BlackRock. U.S. Treasury says China hacked its workstations. I shouldn't have said the country, but in a cyber attack. So this was actually found a couple of days earlier, and then they just reported on it to the U.S. public for transparency reasons. 1.5 trillion. Frankel Templeton says we expect to see strategic Bitcoin reserves added by several nations in 2025. I do agree with that assumption. X payment system X money to launch in 2025. CEO Linda Yacarina says I do agree with that. X, which is formerly Twitter, was talking about coming up with their own payment services. They ended up applying to all 50 states to get a money license to transact. They've been approved for several states, and I haven't got all 50 states yet. So once they do, I do see them going live by the end of this year. Now, Bitcoin price on New Year's Day. So 2024, 314, 434, 1019, 15,321, 3,794, 2020, 7,193, 2021, 29,352, 2022, 47,025, 2023, 16,630, 2024, 42,660, and $93,500 today. Now, we're seeing this trend that we are going to continue to go up. We now have seen some drops, so we do see some drops depending on which year it is. But overall, if you've been holding Bitcoin, you have been doing very well. Again, no financial advice. I do plan on holding cryptocurrency for a decent amount of time. Now, Galaxy Research did give out their predictions. It's a long list of predictions. I wanted to point out number 22. The SEC will open an investigation into Prometheum, the first so-called special purpose broker-dealer. So the abrupt emergence of a previously unknown broker-dealer that happened to specifically agree in totality with the SEC Chair's Gensler view on the security status of digital asset raised eyebrows in 2023, particularly when the unknown firm was granted the first of its new class of broker-dealer licenses. Absolutely ridiculous. We will need to see an investigation into ETHgate as well as Prometheum getting this first ever of its kind license. We'll see what happens, especially with the Ripple versus the SEC case dragging out for over 40 years of BS, and then the Prometheum broker-dealer license just goes through like that, like it was nothing. We'll see what happens. Now, Bill Hinman gave his deposition, lied in 2020 about a lot of stuff. This happened earlier, but we wanted to point this out because in the lawsuit that happened, remember that time that Bill Hinman lied in his deposition and said that Ethereum speech was his own personal opinion. The SEC lied in court for years, making Ripple spend millions to disprove the lie. Just wanted to point out the kind of years in reflection of what was been going on, and we'll see in 2025 a strong future for crypto. President-elect Trump says, in my second term, we will eliminate at least 10 outdated regulations. Gary Gensler will leave the SEC next month, and the Ripple versus the SEC case will likely be dropped. I think that it is great news. He doesn't say this part in his speech, but he does say he's going to be eliminating 10 outdated regulations, and he has talked about cryptocurrency succeeding. Now, one of the pro influencers in the cryptocurrency space, especially for the XRP, is Zach Rector. I think he is an absolutely great guy. I've actually met him in person. He says for XRP in 2025, we'll see a lawsuit conclusion because we did see the SEC appeal the Judge Torres ruling where they basically said that the XRP in of itself is not a security. So we're going to see a conclusion in this case. I do agree with this. He does talk about it either being thrown out, completely dismissed, or that Ripple's going to win. Multiple ETFs go live for XRP. This is going to see like BlackRock come out with their own ETF of the XRP token. Now, RLUSD is going to pump the XRPL DeFi explosion, and then XRP is going to flip Ethereum to become the second cryptocurrency by market cap. Now, it did once hold that prior when XRP had a massive jump. I think it was in 2017, we saw the XRP token go up to like roughly $3.14. Maybe it was a little bit higher, but we did see that massive jump. I did hold during that time as well. Not a lot of tokens. So did a massive jump and then that massive crash down to like 20 cents. Absolutely horrendous. So we're going to see XRP flip Ethereum. I do agree with that prediction. Now, Stuart Alderati says, let's hope these principles won't need repeating in 2025 and beyond. Number one, the SEC, for those of you who don't know, first we'll say that he is the chief legal officer over at Ripple. He fought the good fight for Ripple versus the SEC. So the SEC only holds its jurisdiction over securities transactions. Number two, selling a gold bar with a contractual right, title, or interest in my gold is mine, likely a security transaction. Selling that same gold bar without post-sale rights or obligations, just as an asset sale, the SEC can't police it. The SEC's reach doesn't expand based on self-serving views or who he thinks is more deserving of disclosures. A token is never a security, although it can be subject of securities transaction, and the notion that a token can evolve into a security to a non-security is made up fallacy with no footing in law. Absolutely agree with that. We see prices of Bitcoin over the last since 2013 to now. We don't have the last two charts put into this article from FX Street. So we did see massive growth by percents, especially the years after an election. So the first year after an election, we're going to see a big boom. And that's why I think in 2025, we're going to see a big boom. But talk about my price predictions. I think Bitcoin is going to reach $150,000 by the end of 2025. Now, it could drop by the end of 2025 by December, but I think in 2025, we'll see $150,000 Bitcoin, a $7,000 Ethereum, and in my bullish opinion, I can see us seeing a $10 XRP price. Thank you guys for tuning into my video, and I'd like to see you guys on the next one. If you guys can invest with a big dog, stay on the porch. Thank you guys, and have a good one.